about my show. Wednesday nights. And here we go. It's the rule of three with a touch of Basco. And like the Joker says, and here we go. It's Wednesday night and it's 9 o'clock. Click on the thumbnail, it's about to get hot. We get 3 different questions in only 3 minutes. It ain't for the scared, it ain't for the timid. Some will like us and some just don't. A lot will back us and some just won't. It don't matter with the Khaos crew. We specialize in making things do what they do. So sit back, chill, and enjoy the show with me, Chris, Guy Scar, and Nzo.
Fire, peace. 9 o'clock, Wednesday nights. Don't miss it. Check us out.
What is up, everybody? I am Chris Knight, and this is Chaos Central's The Rule of Three. Sorry, guys, just dealing with some stuff right now, but we got the audio working enough that we can do this show, so we're just going to go with it. So let's see who we have in the chat right now. I saw a few people here. More Arrows here earlier. Dandelion Fluff was here. Shifty's here. Bones here. Basil's here. Mystic Shadows is here. Guys, while we're talking about our channels and stuff like that, do me a favor. Go up to the top where you see that poll. There are 3 choices on there, 1, 2, and 3. You're going to pick what doors we open and in what order. So whatever gets the most percentage will be the first door open. The second door will be the other one, and the next one, and then the last one, of course, is just picked. So, Danny, are you there? I think
Yes.
you're frozen though. Your camera's frozen. So I don't know if you want to fix that up, but
looks like we all having technical difficulties tonight, eh?
There, he got it fixed. I don't know. It's just shit.
I don't know what it is.
Well, it was a full moon, I think. Maybe.
Oh, should I turn to a werewolf? We might have that power.
All right. Well, guys, thank you for being here. We're going to go ahead and go around and talk about our channels. We'll start with Nzo right here. Nzo, tell everybody about yourself and what you got.
Yo, what is up, guys? Biggaford Entertainment. I'm just honestly glad to be able to do the show. I didn't do mine yesterday because I didn't feel like sitting up and hosting, right? But if I'm lying on my couch, whatever, I can talk with you guys like that. But later on will be the OOC, and Roberto's going to be the one taking control of it. Still be on my channel, but he'll be taking control of it. Just glad to be here, man. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. All right, Danny, tell everybody about yourself, please.
I'm Danny AK Comic Chat. You can find me on this channel Monday through Wednesdays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, when we do our shows, Chaotic Conversation, Chaos Lives, Rule of Three. One more episode of Ms. Marvel. I haven't watched it yet, but I heard it was pretty good, so I'm gonna probably check it out when I get done.
Yeah, it was pretty good, Danny.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check it out.
I mean, they were going in the right direction. So, I mean,
hold on. Let me ask you this, though, Danny, because I'm sure you talked about it, right? Did you hear the big reveal? Did they tell you what the big reveal was?
I think I'm just guessing. We probably see Cap Marvel in there at some point. I'm just guessing. I don't know.
Well, yeah, we do, but we have. If Chris, you don't mind me saying it, you didn't see it. We got our first mutant in the MCU.
Oh, what? Oh, all right.
Yeah, it's Miss Marvel.
Well, it is?
She's the first mutant. She's a mutant, yeah.
Okay, so that's a male. Let's see.
Yeah,
so we see Professor X to tell her that or something?
No, the Bruno guy, he tells her that. He says he was looking at her stuff and her genes have a mutation. And then they kind of play the little X-Men theme a little bit. Yeah.
Okay. They still got to do a lot more than that to impress me, but
we'll see.
At least they're starting it the right way.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it plays. But
okay. No, it was a good finale. I heard a lot of people because I was with since I got nothing to do all day, I'm just sitting here. So K-Dot was streaming. I jumped on his stream, and they didn't really like it. And I was like, okay. And I hadn't watched it yet. And then when I watched it, I'm like, no, it's pretty good. I enjoyed it.
Watch it. After here, I got to do a lot of paperwork. I'll probably be done over there on OOC. So I watch it and drift off to sleep.
You popping on the OOC, Danny?
I doubt it, bro. I got a lot of paperwork
No, it's
I
okay.
gotta do after this.
It's
Well, you're
okay.
talking. Oh, I know what Roberto gonna be talking about. So no, I ain't going on that show.
Roe
All right.
versus Wade and 60 shots.
So
Oh no, I ain't going.
anyways, if you look down in the description now, guys, you can get an idea for what we're going to talk about. But before we go there, Real Review 3000, check it out. ADHD for YouTube. That's what I tell people. Easy, short, and sweet. And of course, 3 shows we have here: Miss Marvel Roundtable on Sunday, and then I know we're coming up with the Star Wars Senate soon. Rumble's coming back. Lots of things starting back up. So, with that said, oh, and tonight again, no Final Five. We will get back to that for sure next week, and we will have several that have been decided. So we come back to that next week, and we'll have that all figured out. All right, let's go ahead and do this. We're going to share the screen right there, and let's go. And we're in the poll right now. Hopefully, you guys all
Later, guys. Go.
Peace.
Huh?
That's gonna say you
guys We'll end the poll right now, and we'll see what we come up with. It says, oh, wow. Question 2 and 3 both got 40%. So I will go with 3 first. We'll go with 3 first. So here we go. Question. Oh, and is it going to be like that to me? Oh, hold on. It doesn't want it. I got to start this back up because it froze on me. It looks like. What the hell's going on tonight? That is crazy.
Amateur night tonight, guys.
I guess so.
It's showtime at the Apollo.
Don't tell anybody it's showtime. Nobody. Obviously, the computers don't know that. All right, here we go. We're going to go with number 3. We are deep into Phase 4. This kind of plays into the Miss Marvel thing, but we are deep into Phase 4 of the MCU. At this point, would you say that this phase is better than, on par with, or worse than the past 3 phases? What should they do or focus on going forward? So we will go and we will bring up timer. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
I'll go ahead, Anzo.
All right.
All right, Anzo, 3 minutes. Your time starts now.
Okay, so first off, like Danny said, this is a loaded question, but it's an easy answer. This Phase 4 is, I think, the worst phase out of all of them. I think we've got 2 really good movies, which was Multiverse of Madness and Spider-Man No Way Home. Eternals was garbage. Black Widow wasn't good to me. Shit, what else did we have?
Bad.
Shang-Chi was okay. Right, Shang-Chi was okay. You know what I mean? I would have to really, now that I think about it, yeah, because it's still out of the 2 for me. Out of all the movies, the 2 best are the Multiverse of Madness and Spider-Man. So I definitely think it is the weakest one. But I would have to go back because the phase with Guardians of the Galaxy 2, ooh, I don't know. I'd have to figure out what movies came out in that phase 2 because there were a few movies in that. Ragnarok, Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I didn't like those movies, right? So it's a tough one. It's a tough one. But for me, I think because there's only 2 movies that I really, really enjoyed, I would say it's below the rest. Hopefully it does get better. We still got couple. When does this phase end anyways? How many movies do we have left for this phase?
I think Black Panther may be the last one.
There's like 3 or 4 more, I think. But it's so hard to tell because they keep like kind of moving around the back end of it.
Right.
So I'll have to go.
And that's the thing. So far I'll say it is, but I'll reserve my judgment until we see the other movies because I'm not excited for Black Panther 2. I'm really not excited for it. I won't watch it, but it just doesn't have my like, yes, I gotta see this movie. And I think there were a lot of phases, like I guess phase 4 or phase 3, you had Endgame, Infinity War. Yeah. Yeah, it's the weakest. Hands down, it's the weakest. I'm not a fan of it already. I seen Shifty said Eternals wasn't garbage, but Eternals was garbage. Eternals is to me the worst MCU movie ever. But then we
Mm-mm.
also got
Are you gonna take
Nope.
what Shifty says?
We got a new champion.
well, I was just about to say, then we got Thor Love and Thunder, which I think is up there too. I still don't think it's as bad as Eternals because I just can't I can't even like attempt to watch Eternals again. Like I've tried and I just can't even get through the first like 15 minutes of the movie where I'm just like, okay, no, I've had enough, right? But Thor Love and Thunder too is a part of this phase too, and it's garbage. It's trash. So two movies out of five, out of six, seven. Yes, it's the worst phase for me. It is.
When did it officially start though? It was
Black Widow, I believe,
Yeah,
was the
Black Widow
start
was
of
the
it.
first one, I think.
Yeah,
yeah, because Spider-Man: Far From Home was supposed to be first, and
Well,
then
no, if you
Maggie.
count the TV series, WandaVision might was the first one. I think the TV series and the movies are included in the phase.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. You're right. Hmm.
actually, it was WandaVision. WandaVision might have been tacked onto the back of three. Also, I don't know.
I'm
Again,
looking at it now. It's saying phase 4 movies are Black Widow, fourth of films, Shang-Chi, Eternals, Spider-Man No Way Home, Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, Thor Love and Thunder, Black Panther Wakanda Forever, Ant-Man and the Wasp,
Right, there's that too.
Guardians of the
Mhm.
Galaxy 3, and the Marvels.
Did you guys hear the timer go off? By the way, just asking.
Possibly, yeah, a
Yeah.
Fantastic Four and a Blade to be announced. The
Mm.
Yeah.
TV series was WandaVision,
Okay.
Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Loki, What
So
If,
WandaVision started it all.
yep,
Yeah.
I mean,
Hawkeye, Moon Knight, Miss Marvel, I Am Groot is coming up next, She-Hulk, Attorney at Law, Echo, Secret Invasion to be announced, Ironheart to be announced, and Armor Wars, and Agatha House of Harkness. Good God.
yeah, it's hard to tell. All right, and they might still push some of that to phase five. Okay, Danny, 3 minutes. Go.
Um, I agree with Anzo. I think this is the weakest of any that I've seen yet, even the ones he named mentioned. Um, Eternals was a champion of the worst movies, MCU movies. I'm gonna probably do a ranking here in the next couple of weeks, and to me, Thor: Love and Thunder has taken that. Their aspects of the Eternals that I love much better than Thor: Love and Thunder. I was sorely disappointed. If you listen, follow me and listen to anything I say about when I go to movies, one of the first things I ask myself when I walk out, did I waste my money? And I said that I came to that conclusion halfway through the movie. That this was a waste of money. I paid $25 to see this, so no, I will not. I felt like an ass because usually I watch other means of watching this, which I should have done, but I went in with extremely high hopes. I'm not gonna lie, and I was disappointed, underwhelmed. And I can't sit here and lie and say what parts I like. I think Jane Foster, the female Thor, Mighty Thor, whatever you want to call her, I thought she played her part good. That she was much better than Thor himself. There was extremely silly parts in that movie, but definitely. And I hate to say this, but Kevin Feige, I don't know whether he lost some of the control he once had. I'm hearing that he's being directed to do certain things. Maybe he not necessarily be on board, but if he wants his job, he has to comply with his boss wishes. I wish that they would just leave him alone. So I think when he's left alone and he can handpick the directors and map out his plan, that he has great success in the past. They're taking a serious dip. I didn't look up to see what the box office for it so far, but I think a few days ago, when I did check it, was like 306 million. I don't think this will see a half a billion. I could be wrong. Um, in the 45 days it's going to be in the theaters, I don't think it'll see half a billion. If it do, it'll be barely over 500 million, in my opinion. So, other than Spider Man and Doctor Strange 2, so far this phase has been underwhelming. I'm not going to say garbage or trash, but it's been very underwhelming and very disappointing based on what we've seen from phases 1 and 2. It's going to be hard and a lot of rock stars will tell you this. Sometimes it's hard to recreate that magic of a special album because once you've done like Michael Jackson did Thriller, he never did anything else to top that. Bad was good, but Bad wasn't Thriller. So sometimes, man, when you have that perfect storm and that magic, the right director, the right songwriter, and everything, and it just gels. Sometimes that's hard to create and let lightning strike twice. So it's gonna be really, really hard to replicate phase one. But if anyone can do it, I think they can do it. So I'm hoping that Mr. Feige will be allowed to have his free reign and control again and get back to where he once was.
Okay, very good. Now when we get to the 3 minutes, before we start the 3 minutes, I'll go over what's in each phase so we can kind of graph it out better what we think. But for myself, so far, I would agree with all of you. I mean, I didn't hate Black Widow, but I think it was too little too late. I think that they missed the mark on when that should have happened. I didn't hate it though. Multiverse, liked it. Spider-Man No Way Home, liked it. I haven't finished Thor Love and Thunder yet. I don't know. It seems like they're doing a lot of like just gimmicks that have already been done in those movies so far from what I've seen. And it's like, why are we doing this again? And why are we doing this again? And so I'll see how it comes across. And it seems to be poking more fun at the whole Thor mythos that they've created. It's like these last, like, Thor has become a joke. Everything about it has become a joke. So I don't like that. The TV series, I liked Moon Knight. I liked Falcon Winter Soldier. I didn't hate WandaVision. I wish they would have done better at the end. I didn't hate Loki. So I mean, from what I remember of the other phases, I seem to remember phase 2 being a down phase with some of the stuff. And then phase 3 had, I think, Iron Man 3, which was a down part. But even all of those movies and all of the stuff that they did then cumulatively is better than what they're doing now. Now, again, like Danny said, if it's Kevin Feige doesn't have all the control, or what, I don't know. It just seems like, there's a question of there's obviously something that's different. I can't see how Kevin Feige was hitting the mark every time almost, or at least making a decent movie, even if you didn't like the concept, every time. And then all of a sudden, boom, this turmoil, this obvious change in direction or whatnot. It seems very, very difficult to explain. And so if it is that he's lost some of the control, that might answer it. But definitely this phase is down. I think the other thing is it doesn't seem like there's a focus on a big bad or a direction who's going to be the big bad. Right now, the big bad, honestly, is the multiverse. That's the only thing. There's so many places where people could be coming from, or things that maybe that's the big bad. It's just the fact that anything can happen, which is fine, but they still haven't even focused on that, really. They haven't really said this is the big bad. So it's really kind of meh. And now that does go back to Kang. Kang may be the big bad because I guess he is the beginning of the multiverse, maybe. I guess. But again, they haven't explained that very well. All right, before we start this 3 minutes with all of us.
Right. I'm looking now. That's why I like
one.
Disney Plus. Right. Disney, it tells you. So phase 1, Iron Man 2,
Yeah.
Thor, Captain.
Iron Man, The Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America, The First Avenger, and The Avengers. That was 1.
Yeah.
2 was Iron Man 3, so that's why we're thinking it was down. Thor: The Dark World, again, another meh.
Hey,
Captain America: Winter Soldier was the best one, probably out of that.
No.
Guardians of the Galaxy I liked, but
Me too.
Age of Ultron was in that, and Ant-Man. So yeah, that was a down phase. But still,
Well, I like Ant-Man, I like Guardians of the Galaxy, and I like Winter Soldier.
but
And I
what I
like
mean is,
Thor: The Dark World.
but even with that, the movies are done well.
Yeah.
So there's that. And then phase 3 was Captain America, Civil War, Doctor Strange, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Spider-Man Homecoming, Thor Ragnarok, Black Panther, Infinity War, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Captain Marvel, Endgame, and then Far From Home. So they shoved a whole bunch of stuff into 3. Something tells me they should have moved some of those over to 4.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about it. I think we're all on par with the idea of this is, so far it seems to be the worst. Oh yeah, and Eternals was in this also, which whatever. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that I agree with you 100% now. And I'm looking at the list. Yeah, phase 4 is probably the weakest to me. Only 2 movies that I like from phase 4. So
most definitely the weakest.
Yeah, guaranteed.
And maybe it's because, again, if they were focusing their attention on everything kind of being tied together, maybe it would be different. But it seems like everything's kind of scattered. There are some things that are tied together, but you would have wanted to see more of a tie-in to WandaVision with Doctor Strange. We were told that, and other than having a scene of her being where she was at the end of the series, and her and Wanda or Scarlet Witch being in it, what else tied it to WandaVision? We didn't get Monica Rambeau in that, or was that the chick in WandaVision? It was Monica, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Monica.
Yeah. So we didn't see her. We haven't seen her since. It's like we need this tie-in, and there's just no tie-in from one thing to the next. It's all just it's there. That's what made the other phases work, is that they all did kind of tie into each other.
So here's my question, right? Is that me echoing? Like, every time I speak, I hear an echo. But
I don't. It might be on my end. I'll check it, but I'll mute while you're talking.
Yeah, but here's my question, and I hate to say it this way, but diversity and agenda, you think that's what's affecting this final phase?
I think Bob Chapek, whatever his name is, interfering more so than Bob Iger did. I think so? Bob Iger kind of let
that could be
Kevin Feige just kind of, hey, you're doing a good job. I trust you. Go ahead and do it. You're making money, blah, blah, blah. I think Bob Iger is a different kind of leader, and he think that he knew everything just because Chapek, whatever his name is, just because he has the title. Like I tell my people all the time at my agency, just like where these oat leaves, that don't come with instant omnipotence. I still got to learn stuff. I still got to research. Some of these CEOs, and because they make $1 billion, they think that they know everything, and they don't. You got to stay in your lane.
Well, Chapek's a theme park guy. That's where he came from, is the theme parks. He understands that. I don't think he understands the whole.
Yeah, but I'm hearing that he has more hands-on with the movie side of the house versus the theme side part of the house, and that's some of the
problems. He does now, but he's been in charge for like 15, 20 years of the theme parks. He was the guy about theme parks.
I'm not saying anything about theme parks. I'm saying MCU.
I know. What I'm saying is he doesn't understand how to handle movie stuff. So if he's hands-on in it, that would explain why it's screwed up. Is that
you guys agreeing on the same thing?
Yeah, exactly. So Dandelion says, I think it'll be better once there's a unifying direction. I think that too, but when we've got as much stuff out there as we do, we should have already had an idea of what that unifying. Like I said, the only thing that unifies everything right now, loosely, is the multiverse.
Yeah,
right.
Basically.
I mean, that's about the only thing. So is that what we're using? Is it? And if that's the thing, that's just a thing. That's not it's not a bad guy. Unless somehow they trap Kang as he is the multiverse or whatever, which I think is stupid. But and then she's got a good point here. I think COVID screwed a lot of stuff up, lost a lot of momentum. Yeah, and again, we talked about it. they shoved a bunch of this stuff at us all at one time. So maybe burnout on some of it, on some level, maybe not all, but maybe. I don't know. All right, guys. The next question we'll go for, since I picked 3, will be 2, I believe. So let's go here. We'll go to 2. I guess put your blinders on, Danny. On June 27th, Jalen Walker was shot at least 60 times after a car and foot chase.
Really?
This is a continuation of a sad trend with discouraging statistics. 9 minutes seconds for George Floyd, shot at least 60 times, and that's what the coroner said. The coroner said at least 60 times. So there's a question of maybe there's more. I don't know. So the United States come up with new laws for excessive force from police officers. And Danny, I don't mean to lump you into this. I know you are.
I can't tell because this is supposed to be a comic book show, and you putting this shit here in it.
Well, no, this isn't always about comic book shows. Listen, I want topics in here. Should these crimes go automatically to a federal investigation and potentially federal charges, no matter the jurisdiction? So my question here is these types of crimes, when we have such a absolutely horrendous thing. I mean, I'm not even going to get into the fact of if Jalen Walker only been shot once and killed. That's an investigation. But when we get to something excessive like 9 minutes and 29 seconds of somebody being on somebody's neck and 60 shots in a person, these are excessive cases. Should these automatically be taken from the jurisdiction and said, listen, these are now federal charges. We're going to federally investigate this, done deal. So that automatically happen from this point on with the excessive cases. That's primarily the question I'm asking here. Okay, so Nzo went first last time. So Danny, 3 minutes, go.
This guy is Jalen Walker, right? That's his name, you said?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, what was the crime that he was allegedly to have committed?
So I read the. Well, I haven't read the article. I'm going to bring it up on, but supposedly they were. I don't know why they were chasing him, but they were chasing him, and supposedly he shot at them. Right? Supposedly, he got out the car, ran, and when he ran, that's when they shot him. Now they also did find a gun in his car, so
they did
find a gun in his car, but not him.
Not on him. Person, yeah.
But when the chase was happening, there was an officer or several officers talking to the dispatch stating that they had heard a noise that sounded like a gunshot coming from the car. Okay. So he may have fired at him.
Yes.
While they were in the chase.
But when he got out of the car and started to run, he was unarmed, and then they shot him 60 times.
Give me about 2:30.
Okay. I'll just stop it when you're done. Go ahead.
All right. Being an officer of the law, and I have been in a shootout, I do not see where one individual. I do not see any scenario where one individual should have been shot 60 times unless he's wearing some kind of bulletproof vest like we see on Hollywood that can't be penetrated or hard to penetrate, and he's still standing up and still has the ability to pose a threat to law enforcement. Then if that happens, then I can see that. But this right here, being in that type of situation, it can be an adrenaline rush. But my video's on YouTube, and I only pull the trigger one time. You're supposed to shoot to eliminate the threat, not go excessively. 60 rounds in one individual is excessive to the max, especially if that individual didn't have a weapon on him or did not pose a threat to officers. So I don't know the scenario, and I hate to sit there, but just based on the facts, the limited facts that I have, I don't see a scenario where that outcome should happen. Maybe at the max 1 to 10, somewhere like that. If it's more officers, I don't know. But if you don't see a gun or you don't hear or see or feel shots being hit in your direction, I don't see the need for you to continue to pull the trigger. You're trained to eliminate the threat. When there's no more threat, then you shouldn't be emptying rounds. On my video, I pulled the trigger. The individual went down. That I eliminated the threat. Was able to kick the knife out of his hand, and the guy's still living today. So that was my scenario. I know the officers that did it. Their scenario is similar. There's no way I've ever been taught where you shoot an individual 60 times or that excess amount of times. Now I know there's scenarios, and I'm gonna give you a scenario. Somebody rapes your wife or your daughter or something like that, and you're gonna and we see these movies where the person continues pulling the trigger after the gun is dry. Okay, some scenario like that. I'll give you, okay, if you got a AK-47 and somebody just killed your loved one, your son, wife, daughter, wife, whatever it is, and you just empty it on them, okay, I will give you that. But trained law enforcement, I just don't see it. That's just my opinion. So don't go and say, well, Danny said, no, this is my opinion. I have not seen training. I have not seen Chicago PD's policy and procedure manual. It maybe says something totally different. My policy and procedure manual doesn't say anything like that. It says go with whatever level you need to eliminate the threat and to take control of the situation. 60 times based on what I've seen, what I've heard, the limited information I know about this case seems a bit excessive to me. More than a bit excessive. It seems very excessive.
Very good. All right. Nzo, 3 minutes.
Yeah, and I definitely have to agree with Danny. But I also got to play kind of like devil's advocate too, right? Because he did shoot at them, right? So he is definitely not innocent at all. Let's just put it that way, right?
Well, I'm not saying he's innocent, but
Yeah, absolutely. I agree, 100%. He's not innocent at all. Did he deserve to get shot 60 times? Absolutely not. Like, that's excessive. And then you get the discrepancy when you have a white shooter going into a school and killing a bunch of people and them arresting him, right? Armed, whatever. They even stopped him from killing himself. But now you have a black man who's running away, left the gun in the car. So he didn't have no weapon on him. He was absolutely unarmed. There was no reason to shoot this man 60 times. It just does not make sense to me. You know what I mean? And Chris' question was, should it be a federal investigation? Absolutely. I don't think you let the jurisdiction or wherever it was, you don't let them handle it, because some of those cops may be friends, maybe people they know who they've done like stuff with, you know what I mean? Like parties with or something like that. So you take it to federal, you take it to the highest court possible. They're the ones that should be investigating these police officers to find out whether their conduct was justified or not. To me, it doesn't seem justified. I don't feel like it's justified, right? I mean, maybe if he had the gun in his hand and was shooting back or something like that. Even if he wasn't shooting, had the gun in his hand, then I could see that could be perceived as a threat. But he was unarmed, and I'm pretty sure they knew. And when I show the video, like you just hear, all you hear is gunshots, pop, 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 pop. Supposedly 90 shots fired, right? 60 hit him. So that's what they're saying so far. I don't know the whole story completely, so we're gonna go through it on the OOC tonight.
Was this at night or daytime?
It was night.
Okay.
It was night. So yeah, it's possible maybe they thought he still had the gun on him. I don't know, but even still, like you shoot him 2 or 3 times, he's going down, right? He's falling down. He's on the ground by then. So what? Were you shooting him like 54 more times when he was on the ground? Because you know he's not standing up with 60 shots, right? So it's just it's hard to explain to me. It happens to us all the times, man. So I think there does need to be a federal investigation, and if they're wrong, they have to be held accountable. Like they have to be held accountable.
Okay. Very good. Very good. All right. So, I mean, I've never personally been in law enforcement. I've been in security. I've been in the military. I've done a lot of stuff kind of around that. And every time I've ever been around a place where any sort of force could be used to neutralize, a person or a situation, it's always, use the amount you need, not overdo it. Do what you have to do to take control of the situation. Much like Danny said, I think that's across the board. If you look at everybody's procedures, it's probably listed exactly like what he said. The amount of force necessary to neutralize the threat. That's probably exactly how it is, because these books and these policies are written and handed across the world, the country, because, well, that's the easy way to make sure that if I move from Kansas City, if I'm a police officer and I go down to where Danny's at, I'm not having to learn a whole new set of procedures. I know what they are.
Mhm.
Nzo brings up a good point. We know that more than likely he did fire a shot while they were driving, so he's not completely innocent. But again, that goes back to what is necessary. I said that I could see that if the guy was shot 2-3 times, maybe. But how in the world is 60 even fathomable? I just can't fathom. I haven't seen the video. I've only read, like Danny said, limited facts, because they don't even have all this stuff yet. Again, the coroner's exact response was he was shot at least 60 times. That tells you, and Danny would know, because I'm sure he's been in a part of investigations where he's seen people who've been shot multiple times. If bullet wounds get too close together, they kind of open up to one another, so it's very difficult. You got to take time to actually see. And the coroner's sitting here going like, well, I counted 60. I don't know, maybe more. And that's just crazy. And anytime it's something like that, or 9 minutes and 29 seconds, at that very moment, the federal government, FBI should, or whoever, FBI probably, or marshals should come in, lock down the investigation, or a chief of police or somebody like that should say, okay, this is excessive. We don't know if, and I'm not saying that, I don't know how you'd ever show an investigation that this was called for. But if there was a reason, we are not going to be the ones that needed to find that out. We need to bring in the federal government. Federal government, do your investigation. Let's figure this out, because you got to give it to somebody else, because it doesn't matter if they come out and say that this guy, maybe he shot again, maybe, whatever they say. If they come out and say it was justified, who's going to believe it? Who's going to believe it? If it comes from the jurisdiction to happen. If I'm in charge of a jurisdiction, I don't want this investigation. I'm going to be like, please, state, federal, somebody else take this, because I don't want to say that it was justified if it was. And when I say that it might have been justified, I don't believe it was, but hey, that's what investigations are for. But if the federal government comes to that conclusion and they're not a part of that area, then maybe there's some fact to it. But if it comes from that jurisdiction, what are you going to say? How many officers shot? How many people are in that area too? I mean, that's crazy. Let's keep talking about this stuff.
Every state should have a agency that's independent just for that purpose. Here in South Carolina, it's called
have an investigation unit that's supposed to handle this. But I mean,
that's what it should call. And here in South Carolina, it's called SLED, State Law Enforcement Division.
Yeah.
And whatever, and we got 46 different counties. So whenever a county or a sheriff or a chief calls for outside assistance, they come. If it's a crime scene, it's a big murder, they'll do it independent, so there won't be any kind of people looking at, well, how you gonna investigate your own issue or whatever. So that's what it's made for.
And that's exactly what I was gonna say, because police are like a brotherhood, right? Like, I know Danny, if he came to Montreal, right, and let's say Montreal police stopped him and he said, hey, police officer from South Carolina, he would still get more respect because he wears the blue suit. You know what I mean? Though it's not here in Canada, he would be respected because he's a police officer.
That's true.
You know,
I've been in different states, and especially in New York.
My biggest thing about this is when you're talking about excessively excessive force, which is this so far, that's what this looks like. Are people in that area? And I can't answer this because again, let's go back to the heart of the matter. This is a black man shot by cops. I have no I can't say what that community, what would a black community say if the state even said it wasn't excessive? Would they buy it? Or where would it go that it's far enough away from the situation that if somebody said, and again, I don't believe this is the case, but if it were to be found out by an investigative unit, what unit would be able to say to the people, listen, we looked at this. We have no skin in the game on this. This
I
was force that
I think any
fine.
I think 20, 30 years ago, it might be questionable because social media wasn't as prevalent and strong as it is now, and there's not a lot of checks and balances in place back then. But now, FOIA, Freedom of Information Act, I do that every day. I'm the Freedom of Information Officer at my department, and there's certain laws in place that you have to show the public. If not, then you can be sued. So I think they got more stuff in place now to check any kind of corruption in law enforcement. I'm not saying it still doesn't exist, but 23 years ago, cover ups big time. There's no doubt. Now it is very hard. So if you go down that road, you're gonna be penalized twice as much as the person that committed the first offense. So I don't think it's as easy as people are saying now. And a lot of times it's just an indicator. If you see that head of that department suddenly resign or something, chances are he's dodging something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, guaranteed.
One last question, and this goes to you, Danny, because you're a law enforcement officer. Do you see any situation where one person is shot 60 times that could be found as the force was justified?
The only thing, like I said when I was talking earlier, what's that movie with Al Pacino and
was it Heat you're talking?
Heat.
Heat,
if these people are robbing a bank or something, and they got these suits, bulletproof suits or something, and they hurt people and killing people,
yeah,
and then you get let's just say hypothetically, an armor piercing bullet that can do that, and they return fire and they skilled and stuff, I can see something like that. And in the other scenario, somebody just broke in and killed your wife, your loved one, your mom, dad, pops, grandson, whatever the case may be, and you got a gun, you're a gun enthusiast, and you might have to be a cop. So I got 6 different weapons. And if somebody come in there and rape my wife or kill my wife, my family, I might shoot them 160 times.
Yeah, you lose it.
I don't know. Yeah, you lose it. But in a regular scenario, like what happened here,
the way it sounds right now,
I don't see it.
Here's my question to you, Donnie. One more question. What are the procedures with someone running away from the police officer?
We can't shoot them now. Not run away.
Okay,
unless it has to be some. Only way we can shoot somebody is we can articulate that if we don't stop them, they're gonna kill somebody else. Or when they run away, they're shooting at us, probably trying to shoot us. Then we can use deadly force. If we can articulate that, you better not shoot them. But if we can say, Chris is running away from me and he shot somebody, and I'm actually chasing him and he shoots the second person, then whether his back is turned to me or turned towards me or he's facing me, I can use deadly force because I can articulate I'm giving him chase on foot, car, whatever it is, and he'd already killed 2 people. So I got to eliminate that threat.
Gotcha.
But if he hadn't shot anybody and he just running to get away, then you better not take that shot unless you know he's going to endanger your life.
The biggest thing we're missing right now is what was the chase for, first off, which I'm not saying was going to shine down 60
That's the first thing we ask. Like sometimes there's some cops, more rookies, and sometimes mess up cops. They'll chase somebody till the wheels fall off or a damn traffic ticket. Hell no.
Exactly.
No.
And if it turned out to just be a traffic ticket, or maybe he had
if he got a warrant. It depends on the warrant. If he got a felony warrant, and it could have been for, let's say, murder, burglary, something like that.
Then what we're talking about is
You
10
talk about a
shots.
different way to no. You talk about a different way to approach him. If it's a misdemeanor warrant, man, you don't do all that.
Hmm.
You just don't. But you got to have a supervisor that got enough sense to say, okay, Chris Anzo, we're not going after this guy full bore. We're going to use minimal force. I don't know. I don't know if it was a bunch of rookies that did all this shooting. I don't know if a supervisor's out there, but there's something called tort liability. Probably everybody out there is going to get some of that lawsuit.
Hmm. And one more thing
And
you were saying, Danny, when I said that you being a cop, you get more respect. You were saying, giving an example of that, but you didn't get to finish it.
Like when I went to New York years ago, I was told I was trying to get to what's the place in the middle of New York, Times Square,
yeah.
and they told me in the class I was going for a school resource officer class, and the officers that from New York said, "Look, when you go there, you see an officer, he'll point you in the right direction, tell him you're on the job. You got to flash a badge, and they'll recognize it. No, and then they were very hospitable to me,
Hmm.
and then I just don't like if somebody's speeding. It's a cop. I don't. I just don't ride them. And if it's for their family member and they call, you try to help them out.
I got you.
Mhm.
You just do. But I ain't going to jail for nobody. I ain't doing nothing illegal.
I
Hell no.
understand. Danny, I do want to thank you for being a good sport on that question because I know those are very
Yeah, no problem.
sticky.
Let this shit happen again, though.
That's why I did that. That's why I tried to focus it more on what the investigation should
Hey,
be.
I was glad this question came up because Danny was running from the OOC. So the fact that we got it on here, I was like, yes.
Maybe he'll go to the OC now.
See how you
Last,
do me? I check on you every day. You say you were
You
sick.
did.
Now
You
look, now
did.
look how you do. Now look how you doing me. Okay, I remember that.
No, we just wanted to
all
have
right, so we had lighthearted questions.
perspective.
We had a pretty.
Yeah, let's do
We had
that.
lighthearted question. Sorry, go ahead, Anzo.
No, I was gonna say let's do it. Get to the next one.
Yeah, we got a lighthearted question. We got a pretty heavy question. We're gonna go lighthearted again. If you were in charge at Warner Brothers, would you scrap the Flash movie and start from scratch with a new
You did
actor?
this like 2 weeks ago.
No. This is a little different because it's going to ask you what you would do. Would you scrap it and the story, or would you leave it be and hope for the best? And if you would scrap it, explain what you would do, what the story would be, if you have an actor in mind, which I know we've talked about this a ton of times, the actor. And would you keep the Michael Keaton aspect in this? Would you keep the Batman 89 in it?
Or I got it. I'll go first.
Go.
For me right now, this movie is pretty much finished filming. So to scrap it would be like a waste of money. And I find like, these companies are trying to at least make money off these movies, right? So if you scrap it and you have to start all over again with a new actor, then yeah, it'll never make as much. It'll never make back its money. So I think what you do is you try to make sure you put the best movie out there, regardless of Ezra Miller's situation or whatever. I think if the movie is banging, people will be like, "Oh, who cares?" You know what I mean? They'll be able to separate, the franchise from what's going on in real life. But I do think you at least change the end of that movie to where he's not the Flash anymore. So if you're going back in time, when he goes back into the future, he's totally different person, You see him maybe look in the mirror, making fun and like, hey, what the hell? It's a totally different person. I think that's what you do. I would definitely keep the Michael Keaton stuff in it. I would probably kill him though and keep Ben Affleck alive to continue on. Right? I think Ben Affleck to me is the best Batman. Like I like Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton's number two, but Ben Affleck is my Batman. Like that was the Batman that I've wanted to see for so long. So I think that's the Batman you should keep going forward until he doesn't want to do it anymore. Or if you pay him enough, you pay the man enough, he'll be like, you know what, I don't really want to do this, but those extra zeros are gonna give me the motivation to put on that cowl and cape again. So I think you don't scrap it. I think you make adjustments to it. That's what I would do. And, maybe I would try and adjust Flashpoint to be more like the Flashpoint in the comic books or the cartoon, maybe I would do a little bit tailoring there. But other than that, I would still keep Ezra Miller as the Flash for this movie and hope for the best, right? Because let's be honest, Warner Brothers used to flops. You know what I mean? They're used to their movies flopping. So this is just another one. They maybe have had high hopes for it, but at this point now, you just got to put it out there and hope that it at least makes back its money. You know what I mean? Or it's not like crazy dud to where it's just like 100 million, $200 million in the box office. So I think you put it out there. I think you make a little bit of adjustments to the movie. You keep Ben Affleck in there as Batman because I think most people like him as Batman, anyways. You know, give Michael Keaton a nice send off, and then at the end of the movie, you change the Flash to someone else who you want to be the Flash, and you get away from Ezra Miller.
Okay. Very good. Danny, go.
I'm going to agree and disagree with some of what Anzo said. I would scrap the Ezra Miller part. Well, maybe only keep him there for like 30 minutes. I would go back to the Dark Side War where we see Flash go back into the past to try to reset stuff that Dark Side did. They could even kind of incorporate, see a little bit from Zack Snyder's where we see the gate, the Boom Tomb closing. Then maybe they'll like 6 months later, Dark Side did invade, and he kind of like, and we see the Batman and the Joker universe, whatever. We see a little bit of that, and then we see that Batman's come up with a way that he goes back into the past. I would incorporate that storyline. The end scene credit. I would incorporate that storyline. Maybe see something like 6 months later, 8 months later, a year later, whatever. This is what happened. Batman devises a plan as Flash go back in the past and try to reset. It's Ezra Miller, but then like Anzo says, when he comes back, he's somebody else, preferably Grant Gustin. It's a whole different scenario. We see Ben Affleck Batman. We see Robert Pattinson Batman. We see um, Michael Keaton's Batman, a whole plethora of them, and develop the story from there. Um, if they go back, there's source material that they could cherry pick and make this thing good. I just think Ezra Miller, his antics have tainted it, and people are going to kind of like, I don't know, and it may hurt the product even before it gets out because some people are like these die-hard fanatics. I'm not going to listen to R. Kelly music. I'm not going to watch Bill Cosby anymore. I'm not going to watch Ezra Miller because he's this, and that. So I would just had he been there long enough. We see him in that scene we saw in the end scene credit of Zack Snyder or something like that, and Batman come up with a plan to try and reset it once Superman comes on the scene. And then when we see it, it's a whole different Flash. Whoever you want to get as Flash, and I would write the story from there. I would maybe keep some parts in the movie that's already filmed to kind of save money, but I would try and cherry pick from different stories. I would try and see if I could get the guy from the boys, to be the Reverse Flash. That alone will put butts in the seats if his name is attached to that. I think he'd be a perfect Reverse Flash and do some type of Flashpoint slash Reverse Flash. There's animated stories where they could cherry pick, change a little bit up, and make it interesting. So they have the source material to do something bang up. They just got to have the imagination and the balls to go ahead and say, hey, we're going to do this right here. Yeah, I know it costs them some money, but the money they can make on the back end, I think will make up for the money they already invested in this current product. So I would blow a lot of it up and just cherry pick from the best stuff and try and get one bang up movie.
So you would do like an amalgamation of a lot of the Flashpoint slash time
They're gonna do.
time
They're gonna.
travel
They're
stories.
gonna do a flashpoint. Our flashpoint. I would blow up what we currently know. But I would use some of the aspects of what we already know. Like
So you
we
would
saw.
go back basically to Justice League, like
I
the
would go back.
beginnings of Justice League.
I would go back to that end scene where we
Okay.
see Superman is bad because Dark Side done whatever he did to him, and we already see a little bit from Batman v Superman where Bruce Wayne gets the dream vision, whatever. I would put that in there and build around that.
I agree
But
with
then
that.
when he runs back in the past, he'd be a different Flash and go from
So
there.
this would be to stop quote unquote. So what you would do is mix what Zack Snyder's Justice League 2 or whatever would have been with the Flashpoint and explain how he stopped it by using that back scene.
Yeah.
And
I
okay,
would
no, I like that.
I would use 3 sources. I would use BVS, where we see Batman dream about it. I would use Zack Snyder. Then I would use the animated Dark Side War, where we see Dark Side has won more or less, but Flash had to go in the past to reset it. So I would
Okay.
use cherry pick from all 3 of those sources and then recreate a new whole movie.
Okay. Cool. All right. Yeah, what Danny said. Okay, let's move on. We're going to talk 3 minutes together. No, I like what Danny did say. I mean, that's a great idea. I do think that answer is somewhere in the middle of all of it. Listen, you already got stuff shot by Ezra Miller, so I would cherry pick what's the best of that stuff. The hard part would be is if they hadn't done, if they hadn't have shot other parts where you have that dream scene and stuff, you'd have to find a way to do that. But then again, that costume that he wears in those scenes and in the dream sequence or the end of Justice League, Zack Snyder's version, it covers up the face enough, and you could literally do something kind of like what Nzo said. It could be a different person, or as he travels through time, or as he tries to fix things, he himself becomes this different person slowly, because maybe you write in there that the Ezra Miller Flash will no longer exist because he's changed so much about what he, or like of his own timeline, that he doesn't exist anymore. But instead of him like going away completely, it just kind of changes him as you go along. So you'd notice little changes as the movie went along until the end, when lo and behold, he looks at himself and he doesn't recognize himself because he's no longer that Flash. Maybe. There's plenty of different ways that you could do it. I like that. I would definitely keep Michael Keaton, and while I don't know if he's like absolutely my favorite, he is probably one of my favorites, and probably favorite sentimentally he is. But maybe it's hard for some people to believe out there, but I agree with Nzo. If you're going to kill one of the Batmans, you kill the Michael Keaton Batman. He had his time. Just having him back for part of this movie will be great and nostalgic. But what are you going to do with him? I mean, I know. I think they signed him possibly. What?
So I got a hot take after you finish.
Okay, that's fine. I know that they might have something else for him to do. I think they said that they might have signed him for some other stuff. But again, we're dealing with time here, so you can show other things from other times, or you split the timeline and you send them to do, the Batman Beyond. Again, I think they missed the mark with the Batman. No matter if I like the movie or not, they should have used Keaton and the Batman, and that movie probably would have been, to me, 50 times better. And I thought it was a good movie. I mean, because then at least you're utilizing him in the right way, I think. So there are plenty of things you do. I do think you need to reformulate the movie, especially if what we read about Walter Hamada is correct, is that he was designing this movie to do nothing but blow up the DCEU and the stuff that Zack Snyder did, when now it sounds like the Discovery people don't want that. So you need to use this film in a way to reformulate how do we resolve all these problems to go back to at least something of that. All right. So hot take, Danny, go.
This past weekend, I think on TNT, the FX, they had the superheroes marathon, and I watched Batman and Batman Returns, and Michael Keaton is not a very good Bruce Wayne. I looked at it and I'm like, now we say Ryan Reynolds plays Ryan Reynolds in all his movies. He was Michael Keaton.
Yeah,
he wasn't Bruce Wayne.
See that. So the whole idea was that
I think we just so enamored by Batman and nostalgic that we kind of give it a pass. But I looked at it hard, and I was like, he's Michael Keaton. He ain't Bruce Wayne.
Well, here's the thing.
You didn't start the time, Chris.
Oh yeah, okay. Tim Burton wanted an everyman. He wanted somebody who, when you looked at him, you wouldn't have thought he was Batman. And well, Michael Keaton fits that perfectly. I mean, nobody thought he could be Batman. And again, they were just starting with this thought process of what can we do to make Batman grittier. So they kind of reformulated what we were going to see from then on in the movie. So only since that time, I think more people have gone and looked at it and says, we need to find somebody that fits both of these personas. And they've missed more than they've hit. But I think that like the two best ones for being both Bruce Wayne and Batman would be
See, I blame you and Nzo because I used to be one of those ones that's go and watch movie and they analyze everything. But now Michelle Pfeiffer, like, how the fuck she got all them powers? She's just a normal secretary, but then she got agility, can use a whip, all this kind of stuff, and can go toe to toe with Batman. I'm like, huh?
My cats.
How the fuck is that possible? At least in Halle Berry, they gave an example of how she got her powers.
Yeah.
But the zero for Michelle Pfeiffer. So no.
Didn't Michelle Pfeiffer get her powers from the cats too?
No.
When she got shot?
They like bitter.
Yeah, it's yeah, I mean, whatever. I don't.
But she gets shot out of a window, right? And almost dies, and that's when
No, she got pushed.
Yeah, she gets pushed out the window, almost dies, and then the cats like give her their lives, I guess. But you're right, all of a sudden she can fight and all of this stuff. I get it. But I don't know, I think he was good in
Damn it. Why, Shifty, do you make me agree with you?
No, he has shades of Beetlejuice in there, bro.
Yes, but it works because he's quirky.
No, Bruce Wayne. There's nothing Beetlejuicy about Bruce Wayne.
He's not Beetlejuice though.
I don't think. No.
When he's at the chimney, he grabs that poker. You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Yeah, that is the only time I think that they go a little. What the hell was that? But I think part of that was to show that his psyche isn't all there either. I think that was a moment when you put two crazy people, which I'm sorry, and I don't care what you think, Bruce Wayne and Batman. It proves that he has this crazy part of him because he thinks more of himself as Batman, and Bruce Wayne is just this person he has to be. So he's uncomfortable in it. He doesn't understand Bruce Wayne himself, let alone know how to act as Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne to act as Bruce Wayne, you can't act as Bruce Wayne because Bruce Wayne doesn't know how to act like Bruce Wayne. I don't know. It's whatever. But guys, that's the show with with that. Yeah, I don't know. I like
since I'm home, I'm gonna go watch these Batmans and see if I see what Danny said. I want to watch them again.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. I was like, how is she even in Batman's league?
Well, that part I kind of understand. And the other thing is the two people I think the best. I think Michael Keaton's number 3 as far as the ability to play both parts, but Ben Affleck probably embodies all of it the best. And then Christian Bale, which I know I'm just going to say we're crazy. I'm crazy. Mm-hmm. But I think he does it.
Dandelion, why do you hate cats so much, Dandelion? Why do you hate cats so much, Dandelion? Huh?
She hates them, boy.
Yeah, she hates cats. Why do you hate cats so much?
Huh? The lips are like sandpaper, she says.
It's all good.
Who else doesn't like sand? Oh yeah, Anakin. Oh wow! All right, let's go around one more time. Start with you, Danny. Tell everybody about yourself.
I'm Danny, aka Comic Chat. You can find me here on this channel Monday through Wednesday with the two guys here, and we try to bring different content, different questions, different points of view to try and stimulate conversation and grow the channel. So please continue to support us. We definitely appreciate it. Come check us out Sunday. It's the last episode of Ms. Marvel, and from what I'm hearing, it's pretty decent. I think Friday we may be doing the candy bar poll ranking. So come check that out. That's I think the most craziest one we've done yet so far. So it should be pretty interesting.
They have no idea what coffee crisp is, Dandelion. No idea what coffee crisp is.
I've seen it.
I've never heard of it.
I just haven't had it in like
over here.
Years.
Outrageous, Three Musketeers. Those are my two favorites there, buddy.
Got you.
Butterfinger ain't bad. It just kind of sticks in your tooth.
All right. Nzo, go ahead.
What's up, guys? Biggaford Entertainment. Make sure to check it out. Going over to the OOC right now. We're going to continue the topic of the 60 shots, and we're going to discuss the Roe versus over there too as well. So hope you guys check it out. Great show, Chris.
Thank you. And Real Review 3000, that's my channel, of course, as Danny said. The 3 shows we have are on a regular basis. Star Wars Senate's going to show back up here pretty soon. I think at the end of this month. Of course, Sunday, the roundtable, and I know there's another one right around the corner at some point. We'll be talking about that between the 3 of us. Or
She-Hulk. I think we're scheduled to do that one.
Yeah, I think She-Hulk is next. Did you say you were taking that one?
Yeah, I think Hans already did the intro for me.
Yeah, I did.
All right, cool. So we got that. So keep an eye out for that. We are at 200 and.
I think we already got that. I'm pretty sure I got those already on there.
Mm-hmm. We are at 286 subscribers. That's 14 away from 300. I'd love to see that by the end of this month. I've been saying that for a bit, but we have seen the numbers kind of going up a little bit. It says 5 in the past 28 days. So, well, we're not going to complain about getting people, but we want more people, guys. So that starts with you guys. If you're watching this now, if you watch it afterwards, whatever, guys, make sure that you pass this along. That's how we're going to grow. And we do thank you, those of you who have been coming. And with that said, guys, I think that's it. Thank you to you two. I appreciate it very much. And, well, that's it. Peace.
Later.